All right, everybody. Welcome to Cards and Dice TV, and we are replaying the 2020 World Series using Statis Pro Baseball. I picked up the set on eBay for $10. I went through Big 32 Dave is his name, and that's the person I recommend you go through. Derek has some cards as well, but they don't have cut lines. So when you cut them, they're really made so you can print them out on business cards. But I don't want to have to buy business cards. I just have my 90-pound card stock. So he said he was going to look into it and try to create lines. But that's a work in progress. All right, let's get to the game. And it's a 6-inning ball game. The beginning for the Rays, who are up 6-0 in Game 6. It started off in the top of the second with a single, a double, and a hit by pitch. That loaded the bases, and up came Adames, who stroked a double in the gap, and that was going to score 2 runs, and that put the Rays up 2-0. And then it was a bases at that point. There was runners on second and third, and a walk loaded the bases again. Then it was a double play that allowed a run to score. It was 3-0. So with 2 outs and a runner on third, it was an error on Justin Turner, and that made it 4-0. The score remained that way until the top of the fourth, when there was a single by Kiermaier, and Zunino came up and drove one deep over the center field fence for a 6-0 Ray lead. That's the scoring so far in this game. We are on the top of the 7th, and it's Margot, Wendell, and Adames. Going to be facing Pedro Baez. He's the 4th Dodger pitcher of the game. Gosselin went 1 inning. Flora went 2 innings. Wood went 1.2 innings. And so far, Baez has got a 1.1. He's going to face one more batter. That's the way it is in modern baseball. You got to make a lot of changes. This is Statis Pro. A lot of fun. I'm using a later game. I think this is an 89 version of the game. The game changed a little bit. The creator of this game, the designer was, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a progressive guy. He was a very generous guy who left this game to the community. He said, here are my algorithms. This is how I do it. This is how I create it. You guys can do your own thing. And that was very cool of him. And he did that. And I got to look for his name. I don't remember what his name is, but Avalon Hill picked up this game, and he gave away the recipe, if you will. All right, so it's going to be the top of the 7th. It's Margot. It's 6-0 Rays in Game 6. So the Rays are down 3-2. So they need this game to tie it at 3-3, and then we'll have a Game 7. So that'll be exciting. So here goes. It's going to be Manuel Margot. Pedro Baez. Here's the pitch. You pull a card, and that's a 9. So that's going to be off Margot, an 87. Righty versus righty. That's an out. RN. That's lined and caught by the first baseman. And out comes Dave Roberts. That's going to be it for Baez. We're going to bring in Victor Gonzalez, the lefty, to face the lefty Joey Wendell. And here's a pitch after his warm-up tosses. Here's a pitch, and that's a 3, so that will be off Gonzalez's card. That's always an advantage for the pitcher. A 65 is an out. An LN is a comebacker, and he fields it cleanly, and that's 2 down. And here goes Victor Gonzalez to the righty Adames. It's an 8. That's off Adames. Oh, actually, no, that's off Gonzalez. And an 82, that's an out, RP, and that's grounded to first. And that's going to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Muncy, Smith, and Bellinger versus Blake Snell. Has only allowed 2 hits so far in 6 innings, and they are going to pull him. Surprise, surprise! Out comes Dave Cash and gives him the hook in a 6-0 game. They are going to call in Anderson. You get every player for $10. You can't beat that. you know, the more you play this, the more you say, you know what, why am I going to spend all this money when I can get stuff for $10 the whole season, have all the players and no headaches? You know, gives me the same amount of fun. I can play it 1,000 times. I can have 10 seasons for $100. And if I bought 10 seasons from the guys, it'd probably give me a discount. All right, so it's going to be Nick Anderson coming in. And he's going to face Muncy. And here's the pitch. That's a 6. That's going to be off Anderson. A 55 is an out, and an LP is a pop-up to second base. I mean, to the catcher. And I'm going to tell you something, an idiosyncrasy of this game is that there's a lot of outs to the catcher. It's hilarious. So I'm going to have to go into these cards and change that because I can't take it. So far in this game, I've had ground outs to the catcher, fly outs to the catcher, multiple. There's one there. There's another one there. There's 2 in a row here. 3. I don't know what this game. 4. 5, a ground out there. 5. 6, another ground out to the catcher, another fly out to the catcher. So far, 8 plays for the catcher. Don't know what this game had with the catcher. The guy must have been a catcher and he didn't get any action. So then he said, well, I'm going to make my game where, you know, a third of the outs, defensive outs go to the catcher, whether pop-ups, foul pop-ups, or ground balls. All right, here is Smith. Here's a pitch from Nick Anderson. It's a 7. That's off Anderson's card, and a 62 is an out. RP, and that is a grounder to third, fielded cleanly by Wendell. 2 out. Cody Bellinger, here's a pitch. That's going to be off Nick Anderson. A 54, that's an out. An LP is a fly ball to the catcher. Pop-up. Again, another out to the catcher. So I got to change all that. I can't take it. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I'm going to ask around how I should do that. There's a lot of outs to the catcher. How I should divide those up. I'm going to ask somebody if they can make suggestions on how to do that, so it's representative of a real game. Anyway, all right, top of the 8th, Kiermaier, Victor Gonzalez, and actually, you know what? We're going to bring in Gratterall, who also .2, who also pitched in this game. I like to bring in as many guys as I can that played, just to get that sense of realism. So Gratterall is going to be a 7. I don't think the Dodgers are going to tie this up. They're 6 runs down, but never say never. All right, here goes. And that's a 10. That's going to be off Kiermaier, a 64, and that's ball 4. So Gratterall walks Kiermaier. Takes a little mini hit there. And here's Zunino, who has a homer. He's 1 for 3, a double play homer, and a strikeout. That's a BD. We're going to look at clutch batting, and that is a 55. Oh, boy, that's a deep drive off the bat of Zunino. He got a hold of one there and drives it deep to left center field, and that ball is out of here. 8-0. Second home run for Zunino. And that's 8 and 9. Holy smokes. And that's going to be 1-2 for the home run and 1 extra one. 8-0 now. Rays, and it's top of the order. Nobody out. G-Man Choi, a 7. That's off Gratterall, 42, and that's an out. That's off Gratterall. That's right, an out, and it's a fly ball to left. Surprised it's not another out to the catcher. All right, Gratterall. It's going to be off Arozarena, 68, and that's ball 4. That's the 3rd time Arozarena has walked in this game. And takes another hit there. A 6, that's off Gratterall, an 82, and that's an out. LP. LP's a fly ball deep right field. Back goes the right fielder Betts to the track and makes the catch. And here's Brandon Lau. Here's a pitch, 5 from Gratterall. It's going to be off Gratterall's card. A 62 is an out. And LP is grounded to second. Fielded cleanly, and that retires the side. But the Rays pick up 2 more runs on the home run and a couple of walks. And they lead at 8-0. We're at the bottom of the 8th. Nick Anderson's still in there. Actually, you know what? We are going to bring in Loop. We are bringing in Loop in this one. He also pitched. So, again, like I explained, I like to have, you know, a realistic representation. That's one thing. I don't make a lot of pinch hitting. I don't do a lot of pinch hitters, but I do the pitchers go about 1 inning each. Who did I say was coming in? Loop. There he is. You can go 4 or 4 batters or 4 whatever it is, endurance points. It's the best way to express that. All right, here's Taylor. Bottom of the 8th, 8-0 Rays. Game 6 is looks like it's gonna be tied. We're gonna go to a game 7. All right, it's an 8. That's gonna be off Taylor, and Taylor 75. RP, that's grounded at first, and first baseman Choi steps on the bag. Here's Pollock. Pollock with a 9. That's going to be off Pollock's card at 28. And that's a drive to left center field. Back goes the left fielder, Arozarena, to the track, to the wall, and that's gone. 8-1. And that's going to be 1-2 for Loop. And here's Barnes. That's a 7. That's off Loop, a 26, and that's a strikeout. Barnes swings and misses for out number 2. And here's Mookie Betts, a 9. That's off Betts, a 81. That's an out. RP. It's a grounder short. Oh, that's going to be an error, kind of an error. That is going to be a number 2. Let's see if that's a 2-base error or a 1-base error. Number 2 is wild throw, batter to second if he's an A or a B. And he is an A, so it's going to be a wild throw by Adames. And that is going to put Betts at second base. So both teams have an error right now. And that brings up Corey Seager. Here's a pitch to Seager. Oh, that's going to be clutch batting. And that's a 34, and that's a drive deep to right field. No doubt about this one. Score is 8-3 now. 2-run shot. And with 2 outs, that's actually 2 unearned runs. And I'm not sure how the game handles this. But I'm going to pull Loop. And I am going to bring Fairbanks in. Righty versus righty. Fairbanks is going to go 7. He's going to be facing Justin Turner with 2 outs. So let's see. Anderson went 1. And Luke just went 0.2. And now Fairbanks. Here's a pitch. That's a 4. That's off Fairbanks, and 82 is an out. RP is pop up to the catcher. Again, the 10th put out by the catcher. This game is crazed with the cat. Loves the catcher outs. So that's going to be 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 home runs, and of course the error. And it's going to be an 8-3 ball game now. And we go to top of the 9th. It's going to be Margot, Wendell, and Adames. And who is it? It was Gratterall came in. It was 0.2 for Gonzalez. Baez came in there. So hold on a second. It was Floro early. Then it was Wood. Then it was Baez, 1-1, 1.2. And then Gonzalez there. And then Gratterall. And we're going to keep Gratterall in. Top of the 9th. Game we're losing, so we'll leave Gratterall in there. Although he has given up a 2-run shot. All right, here goes Manuel Margot. 7 and a 74. That's an out. An RN. Say fly ball, pop up to the first baseman. Out number 1, Wendell. A 6, that's off Gratterall. A 36, and that's a out. LN lined to second base and caught. 2 down. Willie Adames, 11. That's going to be off Adames. A 51. That's a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Easy inning for Gratterall. And now it's going to be bottom of the 9th. We're going to bring in, you know what? So Fairbanks came in. And we're going to let Fairbanks finish this out. We're going to face Muncie. Here's a pitch. It's off Fairbanks. 86. That's going to be an out. An LP is a pop-up to the second baseman. Next is Smith. A 7. That's off Fairbanks. A 33. And that's a strikeout. 2 out. So the Rays are 1 out away from forcing a game 7. And here's Bellinger. That's a 12. That's off Bellinger's card. A 68. That is an LP, which is popped up left side. Third baseman makes the catch, and that's the ball game. So the Rays win it by a score of 8-3. Let's see how the Rays did here. Let's move everything aside. Now I have 3 sets of these cards. I don't have to shuffle anymore. I picked these up from, I think you can go to Board Game Geek and look under Status Pro, and they have some cards. So you can see I have 3 sets. I do not have to shuffle anymore, which is nice. Let me put this aside and let me do the line score. Let's see how many hits. This was a big inning. So that's 5. So that's 7. 8 hits for the Rays. And it's going to be 4 hits for the Dodgers. So 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Rays against 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. Let's write in the last scoring that happened here. It was the bottom of the 8th. And it was a home run, a solo shot. So it was Pollock, home run, and that made it 8-1. Oh, I forgot to do the 2-run homer at the top of the 8th. Let's do that. Top of the 8th, it was a walk. Let's see, top of the 8th, base on balls, and then Zunino with a home run, 2 RBIs. That made it 8-0. And then it was the bottom of the 8th with a solo shot, Pollock. And then it was a 2-run shot. Then there was an error on the shortstop and a Seager 2-run shot. So that made it 8-1. And then the Seager home run, 2 RBIs is going to make it 8-3. And that's the final score. The win's going to go to Snell. And the loss is going to go to Gonsolin. And Gratterall went 2 innings. And then Fairbanks went 1.1. We never got to Yarborough. And we forced a game 7, so I'm going to start setting that up. Now, if you want to look at the scorecard I use is a replay baseball scorecard, 2009. I really like it. And I guess the final game 7 is going to be played at Dodgers. So I'm going to look at the actual lineups and set that up. And I will be back with the game 7 of our Statis Pro. Every year I think I spend about a month playing Statis Pro. It's really a lot of fun. I just got to change the results on the cards, the F2s, and make them into ground balls to short or something that happens more often. I'm going to ask around, and that's about it. This is CP Cards and Dice. Final score is Rays 8. This was Game 6. The Rays tied up 3 apiece. And we go to Game 7. Dodgers. It's going to be Rays at Dodgers for Game 7. It's going to be exciting. And I may do this. I only streamed 3 innings of this thing because it does sometimes slow down and take a while. So I may do 6 innings of that game. Now that I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. At first, when I started playing this, it was just a little bit of a struggle. I was like fumbling through it a little bit, not comfortable. But now I'm much more comfortable playing this game. And I can, it takes me about a week or two to really start becoming comfortable, and then it starts moving a little bit faster, and I feel more sure of myself. I think that's just the nature of the beast, when you play a lot of different games. But I think I really enjoy going from game to game. It's just every time I go back to a game, I have to relearn it all over again, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. It's not only the ball game itself, the hitting and the pitching and all that. It's also learning the game. It kind of challenges my brain, and it puts me. It just satisfies that aspect of my enjoyment for this. Is just looking at different cards, looking at different rules, looking at different components, and so on. And this one doesn't roll dice. I'm rolling dice right now. I have a 1970 Appa Seaver replay going, which is really cool with the basic Appa game, which is unbelievably simple, but unbelievably accurate within reason, right? And I'm doing that. I got about 10, I'd say about 13, 14 games to go in that, so I should finish that within a week. And then I'm playing this out, and I don't know what else I'm going to do with this. I may just put it away, and then there's 2 games I want to pull out. I want to start playing Fall Classic Baseball, start learning that. And then I'm also going to continue playing Back to Basics, 2 new games that I picked up, and I'm going to be playing those and learning those and teaching those as well. As I learn, I teach. And but this is a cool game. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not really pumped with 2020. I don't know what to do with 2020. To be honest with you, it's not something I want to, replay. It was only a 60-game season, so I think I'm just going to put all this away. Maybe I'll if I got to fix these cards, I can't have, 12 outs going to the catcher. So I got to fix these results cards somehow and make all those outs to something else. I have to ask around and have some guys maybe that know a little bit more than I do. Give me some ideas, some suggestions or recommendations, and that's about it. What else did I want to say? These are just some of my plans. So I may get an older season, and I'm not buying from. I think his name is BJY. I think it is. Or BYJ, I don't even know anymore. But I don't buy from him until he sets he apologizes for being rude to me, and so I'm not gonna. I recommend nobody buy from him until he comes to his senses. But I'm buying from Big 32 Dave right now, and he makes some nice cards. And for $10, you can't go wrong. Get the whole season, all the players, and you have a lot of fun, cheap as well. So this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.